Rafting trips can be a magical experience, and Idaho features some of the best multi-day expeditions in the country, with wilderness runs like Hell's Canyon of the Snake, the Selway, the Main Salmon, and the Middle Fork, which Vivian Chan rode by herself for the first time with an experienced group.
It's considered like the holy grail of Idaho whitewater, and people come from all over the world to experience the Middle Fork section of the Salmon River.
Most private rafters pay a shuttle company to drive their cars from the put-in to the takeout. But when Vivian's group got off the river after 6 days, Wild River Shuttles didn't have any of their 3 vehicles at the takeout.
After about 5 or 6 hours, the ramp was empty, and we were still sitting there with no vehicles. And so we were on a sat phone, texting, and reaching other members of family to contact Tammy at Wild River Shuttles.
Takeouts in these remote areas don't have cell service, and other rafters have found themselves in similar situations, including my brother's group, rafters I talked with on the Main Salmon, another group I spoke to on the phone had to camp an extra night with minimal food, and many others have shared their stories on boating forums.
11 of us were at the ramp with 6 boats.
Vivian says the owner of Wild River Shuttles brought over other customers' vehicles to take Vivian's group to the town of Salmon.
So I found their paperwork and contacted the owner of the vehicle and got a hold of her. Her and her husband were stranded at Cash Bar in Riggins, and another person, Dave Young from Rubicon Outfitters, rescued them, brought his truck and trailer, hauled them out of Cash Bar, and gave them a place to stay in Riggins. So they were just waiting in Riggins for their vehicle.
In the meantime, Vivian's group tried to work with Wild River Shuttles, but that didn't go well, and they were still 3.5 hours from their cars at the put-in, so they called the police.
Things kind of got heated a little bit. There was a lot of confusion, a lot of, having difference of opinions and wanting to do things a different way. So they decided to call the police, and when she heard somebody say police, she took off.
We reached out to the company but couldn't get a hold of them. Their voicemail was full. The Forest Service has sent out emails warning upcoming floaters not to use Wild River Shuttles, and law enforcement took over the task of trying to get rafters their vehicles. But there were other problems. Cars had extra mileage on them, some more than 1,000 miles. Other rigs were damaged, and Vivian's group basically had to run their own shuttle before they could drive home to Boise.
Our situation turned out better than some. Everybody has kind of, like you said, a laid-back attitude, and we try to think on the positive. People really came together in the boating community and those smaller rural towns. The locals are there to help, so that's really the silver lining to all of it.
Steve Dent, Idaho News 6.